So ultimately, some of the tangible results are that myself and the staff now have way more freedom. We can now implement new ideas more freely without having to get involved so much in the day-to-day processes that once took away so much of our time. My name is Mat Harwood. I'm the owner of Unearthed Sounds. We're a vinyl distribution company supplying vinyl records worldwide from Poole in Dorset. So the idea is that we will take a label or artist's music from the inception or the concept stage right through to selling on some of the world's biggest platforms. It started for me in the school playground, passing cassette tapes from like rave tape packs around, and got absolutely hooked on it, just couldn't stop listening to these rave tapes. From there I kind of just couldn't stop listening to the music, wanting to know more about the music, so I went in my mid-teens, I sold a Nintendo system that I had, bought a pair of turntables, and then every bit of money that I had from there was just spent on vinyl records, researching the music, understanding it, and fortunately one day one of my favourite distributors who supplied the music to the record shops, I was on their site, I'd always kind of check it out to find out what releases were coming in that week. They had on there a vacancy for a sales position. I thought, well, this is perfect. So I did 8 years of sales at another distributor selling vinyl records. And then fast forward to 2014, I set up my own business and it grew very, very quickly. So when I discovered 24Assets and the books by Daniel Priestley, I was kind of in a state where the business was heavily reliant on me. I was working very much on the day-to-day. I was struggling a little bit to delegate properly. Some of the challenges that we were really facing at the time of discovering 24Assets was we were struggling as we were growing to keep abreast of all of the orders and the processes that we had to go through every day. Found that the information side of things was very difficult to keep on top of because more and more people wanted information that was very much just inside our heads, and we needed a way to translate that information into a distributable model so that people could understand what we knew without us having to relay that consistently. Personally, the frustrations with the early stages of the business and prior to 24Assets, I would say would be the fact that I was consistently on 24 hours a day. You know, even during my sleep, the emails were going off, the phone was going off, I was waking up to all sorts of menial tasks that I probably shouldn't really have been getting myself involved in, but I was so focused on making it work that I felt I had to be on and available to the clients and the customers. So I read 24Assets, and the key thing that really stood out to me was that it was a very simple structure on the face of it. It seemed very obvious once I'd finished reading it that to break down every little part of the business and to work on that and make it a digital asset in itself kind of made just so much sense. I joined the 24Assets Accelerator. I spent 12 months working on the business rather than in the business. And these 12 months were invaluable to myself personally and to the team and to my staff. Something that was incredibly important to us was we put together a lot of the information that we found ourselves repeating over and over again, like our IP, into a client assets portal within our website, so we could refer people to this over and over again. The system assets was incredibly important to us and probably sparked the most valuable asset that we created within the time. We developed a dedicated label portal for artists and labels to log into and see in real time their sales, their information about the purchases that were the shops that were worldwide purchasing their records, and a snapshot of the financial summary of the record label at any time of day and night. The actual processing of the financial summaries was taking us probably around about 8 to 12 hours of work every single month between 2 members of staff. This now takes 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure that everything looks correct. Culture assets, okay, so this is very important to us. We, by nature, are a counterculture business, so felt like we were kind of a little bit edgy, kind of on the right wavelength in terms of this side of things anyway, but upon kind of delving deeper into it, realised there was a lot more we could do. So for culture assets, we developed a specialised area for our staff where we set up a set of turntables so that the staff could mix the music that we're selling, make radio shows, podcasts, stream live on YouTube, just, you know, allowing our staff to, and the people that come and visit, the record labels, the artists, a platform for them to be able to enjoy the product of what we're doing on a daily basis. So as a result of putting the assets in place, the business is now way more fun. It's enjoyable again. So ultimately some of the tangible results are that myself and the staff now have way more freedom. We can now implement new ideas more freely without having to get involved so much in the day-to-day processes that once took away so much of our time. Our revenue has increased. We set ourselves a target at the beginning of the 24Assets program of increasing our revenue by 11%. We actually just exceeded 22.5%. It was kind of incredible to see it once we looked at it. What I would say to anybody that's thinking about doing the 24Assets program is that if you want to make the business enjoyable again and you want to be able to scale your business, this is definitely a great program. So next for the business, we're going to spend the rest of the year focusing on the digital distribution side of things. The Chinese market's just opened up to digital aggregators, and that is going to make a massive difference for artists and labels. So we're going to focus on monetising music for our artists worldwide and going to neighbouring rights.